Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and we just unboxed and took a look at Apple's $400 phone with the new SE. So I figured it's time to take a look at what Samsung has to offer at that $400 price point with the Galaxy A51. So we're going to unbox the A51, take a quick look what comes inside, and also do a quick comparison with Apple's $400 phone. Let's go ahead and get started. So here is the Galaxy A51 from Samsung. You might even be able to get it under $400 depending on where you buy it from, so gotta keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and open it up. And right away, pretty neat color design on the back. Very color shifting depending on how the light hits the back of the phone. We're gonna set this to the side for just a second and see what else comes in the box. So we do have our fast charging, adaptive fast charging. Noteworthy, it includes the 15-watt fast charge adapter because with the SE, you have to buy it separately. And then of course in the box, you have your USB Type A to USB Type C cable for charging. Finally in the box, SIM ejection tool and some booklets. And a close-up look at the back of the Galaxy A51. Just kind of a neat color scheme to it. Now, it does have a quad camera system, 48 megapixel wide-angle lens, 12 megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, and then two 5 megapixel lenses. One's a macro and one's a depth sensing lens. Now, in the box, it did not come with headphones. The SE does come with headphones. However, this phone has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, so you probably are gonna have headphones that fit in this, whereas the SE does not have a headphone jack. You have a USB-C slot for charging, microphone, a speaker, and then up along the left side is your SIM slot, but not only a SIM slot, a micro SD card slot for expandable storage, so you can easily expand the storage on this. And then on the right side, you have your volume rockers and a power button. And speaking of that micro SD card slot, you can not only easily expand the storage, but the base model comes with 128 gigs. So $400, you get 128 gigs of storage, whereas you only get 64 on the SE. So I'm gonna skip through the startup process, only talk about anything noteworthy, show off that in-display fingerprint scanner. You can use your fingerprint to unlock it, but it also does have face recognition if you'd like to set that up. We're gonna set up that in-display fingerprint scanner. Okay, setting it up, it does say secured by Knox in the bottom right-hand corner too. So let's go ahead and just lift our finger up, set it down, gives us a little bit of vibration feedback. And we are good to go. Fingerprint added. If you would like to, you can add another one. We're not going to for now. Let's continue through the process. All right, we are all set up on the Galaxy A51. Taking a close look at that display, it is a 6.5-inch 1080p AMOLED display, which is much better than the SE's display just in terms of technology. And of course, you're going to get a larger phone. Let's put them side by side. All right, here's a side-by-side comparison between two $400 phones, one from Samsung and one from Apple. Obviously a little bit different in style. In my opinion, the SE is very outdated, just a lot smaller, more compact look, and a lot less bezels to the Samsung A51 and a larger display. Now don't get me wrong, each one of these phones does something better than the others. Drop a comment, let me know which one you are preferring at that $400 price point. Now, the iPhone SE has the best mobile processor in a phone right now at the A13 chip from Apple, which will help future-proof it, whereas the Galaxy A51 has a mid-range Exynos 9611 processor, so you're definitely gonna get more processing power out of the iPhone SE. Both do have front fingerprint scanners, the physical one on the iPhone SE, and then an in-display one on the Galaxy A51. Kind of a neat little lock screen animation they've got going on right there. Just go ahead and set a finger on that spot to unlock it. And I found with in-display fingerprint scanners, you do get used to the spot overall, and you can start to do it without looking. Also, a bit of a difference in the camera system, a single 12 megapixel lens on the SE, and a quad camera system, so more versatile with the A51. However, because there is that A13 chip, it includes some capabilities that the A51 doesn't have. For example, you can record in 4K on both devices. However, on the A51, you can only record in 30 frames per second, whereas if you do want 60 frames per second video recording, you can get that on your iPhone SE. Now on the A51, you do have a night mode that the SE doesn't have. So you can go ahead and take a sort of long exposure shot to see how it turns out. Let's go ahead and take some sample pictures between the two devices. And here's some quick sample shots I took between the two. Outside with varying exposure, and then inside with a good lighting scenario. You'll see the A51 saturated the picture just a little bit more, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And then back outside, a couple more sample shots. Of course, the Galaxy A51 does have an ultra-wide angle lens, which adds a lot more to the shot, which makes it a little bit more of a versatile lens. And then when you go ahead and jump to a couple lower light scenarios between the two, the SE did have a little bit more detail in this shot, but then you switch over to the night mode with the A51, which adds more light into the shot in general. The SE still has more texture detail to it, but of course a little bit lighter on the A51. And when it comes to the selfie camera, the SE definitely wins in this category just in terms of just color balance and lighting in general. And of course, don't forget the A51 has a macro lens, so when you get really close, you're gonna get much better shots on the A51. And of course, there's the argument of Android versus iOS. I don't really want to get into that in this video. I actually have a separate video for that. I can link to those in the description. But of course, Samsung has their skin over Android, which adds very useful features such as a dark mode that you can schedule and others, of course. So diving into it, it just kind of depends on your preference. However, with iOS, you have things such as AirDrop, iMessage that you can dive into that ecosystem at a $400 price point. Also, when it comes to updates, you can expect better updates, faster updates on the iPhone SE. Just plain and simple, it's going to get support longer than your Galaxy A51 or just about any other Android phone will, for that matter. It's just kind of proven that Apple does keep their devices updated longer than Android devices. And of course, with a larger design, you get a much larger battery on the A51. However, with iOS, it is more optimized. I expect battery life to be better on the A51. However, I'm going to have to do a little bit more testing with that to really see which one is better. And overall, that is everything I wanted to touch on between the iPhone SE and the Galaxy A51 with the A51's unboxing. So drop a comment. Let me know which $400 device you're feeling, an Apple device or a Samsung phone. Be interested to see what you have to say. Again, be sure to click that subscribe button so you're notified of the next video. More content coming very soon. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.